Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Tomasz Głogosz, and today I will give you some brief about our great product, which is Datapolis Process System, now released in the version 4.1. Okay, let me start with the agenda, what I will tell you about today about our great product. There are three main points I would like to tell you about. The first point is our workflow designer, which allows you to simply create great workflows in our product. The second part is something which is named as application, that we can pack a workflows application. And the third thing is central administration. So the place when you can manage the whole farm, the whole things in our Datapolis Process System. So let's start with our workflow designer. There are some main things which I would like to tell you about our design. It is web-based, so you don't need anything more than web browser to create a workflows. So you don't need to install an application, just open it in web browser and create a workflows. It's graphical, so it's comfortable to use and to see what workflows you have created and to creating workflows. It is also state machine. So it's like in the real life. We have states between users can move by action. So let's in the typical office, some documents goes between some rooms, between some people, and sometimes go to some room, sometimes goes back to the other room, and waiting for some user interactions. And it is also two layers. So we have one layer which is more business layer, that when you create an idea how the workflow should work, and the technical layer when you create the workflow background, how it should technically work. It is also drag and drop, so it's simple just to create workflows, just drag and drop states, drag and drop actions, drag and drop everything you would like, and the workflow is created. So you don't need much more than mouse to create a workflow. And of course, lastly, it's powerful. So it contains a lot of functionalities that we'll tell you about. Some of them we'll tell you about today, which allows you to create very extended workflows that covers all your needs. So let's start with our some screenshot from designer. Just looks the designer is just simply drag and drop when you can add a state between which moves by actions. Actions are user interactions. It is also interactive. So for example, when you move on a role, because we have roles, I will tell you later about that, it is highlights in which roles that users have permissions. So it's drag and drop, it's comfortable, it's interactive, so you can easily see what you have created. And of course, that was the business layer. And second layer is technical. We can go inside some actions and see what technically background is, what workflow activities we can put, and what jobs that workflow can do. Also, it is comfortable configuration with the user interface. So simply when you have some action, we can drag and drop some variables there, and that variables will be get on the form. How to get to the form? Very easy. It's integrated with SharePoint. So, for example, with SharePoint item context menu, when you have the actions, just click on them, and you can see that what you configured in the workflow easily just dragging and dropping, creating that form. So that was some brief. Let me show you some demonstration of that, some simple workflow. How to get to that our solution? We have let's see that we have some list, and on that list we have a button and the ribbon Database Process System settings. And here we have a list of the workflows that are available in that solution. So I have opened the workflow before for you, and that's look my simple workflow. How to add a state? Just simple drag and drop. How to add an action? Just simple drag and drop. So that workflow, which you see, was created in less than half a minute. I added two states. some kind of verification of invoice. State verification, then action verified when user can tell the workflow that is verified, and the state acceptance when you can request for more info and go back to the verification state and accept that invoice. So let me show how this converts to the real life, to the working by the end user. So let's go to the invoices. And let me just add an item, because I have configured that workflow to be started when I'm adding an item. I can of course configure that to start in editing item or even manual. Okay, what just happened? My workflow is starting, and we have column in progress, like in the SharePoint designer. We also based on the Windows Workflow Foundation, so it's fully integrated with SharePoint. And the second column, invoices state, is our custom column which shows the current state. So it's easy to manage, easy to create great views when people see what workflows are in which state. We can count that, we can filter that. So it's great tool that the state is here. Yeah, like I said, verification state. Let me go back to my workflow. Yeah, that's that state. We are in that stage right now. The action was started. Workflow started was initial action. We are right here. So what can I do right now? Drop down, invoices. Yeah, that action which I configured, it's here. I can also see it here, yeah, on the ribbon and on the item. So there are several places when I can launch that action from here. When I click that action, there's a standard form, standard launch action form, which I have not configured anything, just put an action on that. And that form can be configured. I will show you later how. So what can I do right now? Just continue that action. And let me go to the list. What I see right now, we are in the acceptance state. I will show you my workflow. Yeah, verification, verified, acceptance. Great, so we are now in acceptance state, and I have two actions right now. Accept and request for more info. I will choose request for more info. The same standard form, confirm. And we are now back in the verification state. It's great. We moved back to the same state. So it's like in the real life, the document went back to the same person, for example, and same department, whatever. But it's the same, so I probably would like to know how we get here. I can click on in progress. And here I see the whole history of the workflow, that it was in the verification state. Then I clicked verified, and then I clicked request for more info, and we are now back in the verification state. For 20 seconds, yeah, in the verification, the first you have more than 1 minute. Everything is here. Okay, so basically we have a state, we have an action between that move between the states, and that is the thing I told you about. That is the business layer. So let's go back. Let's go further to some kind which I named technical layer. Okay, I would like right now when user requests for more info to tell me why he's requesting for more info. So to provide some comments, and I have also on my list invoices, I have a comment column. So I would like a user to provide a comment, and that comment to be stored here. So what I need today to do? Let me start from adding a workflow variable. That variable, which I will add right now, will live the whole life of the workflow instance. So I will provide a user comment. I have several types of variables, but I just need a string, some simple text variable. Okay. And I will go to request for more info, launch form. So the form you have seen. I can configure a quick form, which is standard. I can configure info path form, custom form, which can develop in C# in Visual Studio, or even launch form, where there will be no confirmation from the action. Just clicking on the ribbon, and that will launch the action. I will use the quick form, and like I showed in the screenshots before, I will just move that user comment to my form. And now, just after one click on my form, there will be my user comment. So when user will open that form of the records from info, he will see the user comment. I can of course configure how user will see that. I can configure the field title, description, and the type. Single line of text, number, multi-line, event choice, or date time. Yeah, you can provide variables, you can provide options of the choice, or maybe person group, from which group, only groups, only users, whatever, fully configurable, a lot of types. And if that's not enough, there's our custom field control. You can develop yourself. So I just need a single line of text, no more, because my comment column is a single line of text, so I will get a variable by single line of text. Okay. User comment, single line of text. Okay. But that's just getting a workflow variable, and I will have my workflow variable. What's next? When user clicks an action, configures an action, that action is going from one state to another, and inside that route, that way, from one state to another, there can be launched some activities. That is our technical layer. So that activity is launched automatically, that flow. I can put some ifs, some loops, or maybe some sending email, starting workflows, running PowerShell script, adding to roles, removing to roles. It's our independent roles. I will tell you about that later. Site permissions, even adding user tab ID, creating websites, creating lists, or managing items, adding, removing, copying, editing, whatever. And even Office, editing and getting data from Word documents and Excel spreadsheets. Okay, what I need, I will just edit an item. So I will edit an item, and I would like to edit the current item. I can of course edit any items on the whole SharePoint, but I would like to edit the current item. And I will provide field values. So let me choose field. I would like to edit a comment field. Okay, and I would like to provide some comments here. I can of course write some text here, but always when you have some kind of text box, you can use our fantastic functionality, which are lookups. What are lookups? Lookups are very, very great data source. You can get data from whole SharePoint, from current, from current site, from current list, current item, whatever, or maybe from some site collections. Let me choose some sites, home, and maybe from the home website, some documents, and I would like to get the item title where the name contains and what contains. Of course, I can put a new lookup here. So I can use lookup and lookup. I can merge lookups even. So I can put some current item title, yeah, and maybe the ID is higher than 5. I'm sorry, higher than 5. I can sort that, of course. I can even get all of the variables split by semicolons, but that's not everything. I can get some site parameters like URL. I can find users, SharePoint groups, permissions level, whatever. I can get data from workflow data, from workflow variables, or we have a lot of functions. We have date functions, text functions, so even decoding and encoding texts, managing dates and times, math functions like, for example, calculate, so you can create some expression, and great data sources. So query any SQL, query Active Directory, sending web service requests and web service. So everywhere when you have text box on activities or on the forms or on the some conditions, whatever, you can dynamically load some data from whole SharePoint or external services or whatever. Right here, I will create a simple lookup to user comment. That's all I need. So in the field, in the edit item, in the field field comment, I will put my variable user comment, the value of that variable. Okay. Okay. Just confirming and just simple deploy. Let's go to my invoices list. I will add new item. What will happen right now? Right now, I will create a workflow, then go to the acceptance state, then request for more info. And when I request for more info, there will be shown a form, and on that form I will see the comment variable to provide, and in my comment field. Okay, so let me provide invoices or tool. I will check if that workflow deployed. Yeah, it was deployed. Great. And I will add new item. The workflow is starting. Yeah, let's wait a second. Sometimes it takes some time. Okay. I will choose verified. Yeah, just verified action. I have did nothing right here, and acceptance. So we have right now the action which I changed, request for more info. Yeah, great, my user comment. Please notice that this description which can be put here and this can be dynamically changed, can be loaded from web service dynamically when you open that form, whatever. You can put lookups everywhere here, and of course default volume. And this, like I said, can be configured whatever you'd like, and you can put a lot of fields right here. So I just provide my comment right now. This is my comment, and confirm. Okay, great. What happened? Here we have my comment. So what happened? Let's go to the history and check. And here we see that I started workflow, there was initial action, there was verified, and then on the request from info, I had some form fields. User comment, I provided this is my comment. Great. And then was activities history. I had edit items, and in the edit items, I had a current item true, so I did current item on the invoices list, and to the field comment, the volume, this is my comment. So the whole info can be seen here in the history. Okay, so you just see the very basic functionality of our designer of a workflow. So states, between states we move by actions. Actions can get some data, and inside actions we can launch activities. So let me go back to my presentation. Okay. What else? What else can we do? In the designer, we can have, like I said, lookups. They are very powerful. They are fabulous functionality. We can also have self-timers. You need some escalation. You need some auto sending of mails. You need some people to remind about something. Use self-timer. It can automatically launch action after some time, physical some conditions. For example, after 3 days of entering the state, I would like to move to other state to automatically accept. Or maybe I would like to send someone a mail that's informing that there is a task to do because he didn't pick up it. Everything can be configured easily. Decisions. What are decisions? Let's imagine that the people have accept action, and from the accept you can go to director accept, but when the director is accepting, he don't need to click 2 times accept and director accept, so we can drive a process. If there is director, we can move to accept to accept it. If there is no director, we can move to director accept. So we can drive a process automatically after choosing some action. It can be based on permissions or on conditions. For example, automatically accepted are invoices when you click accept that are less than $100, and not automatically, but you need to accept that in the director accept state if they are higher than $100. Interactive showing of roles. We have very powerful roles mechanism. What is roles? Roles contain some users or groups. You can dynamically change them inside the workflow instance by the actions, by the activities, adding to or removing from roles, and assign roles to the states or to the actions, and only people that are in role will see the action. So this is the way to hide and show actions from some persons. Other way is of showing hiding actions are by conditions. So, for example, actions will be shown after some date, or if there some value of the item match something or whatever. We can configure any condition we would like on the to show or to hide actions. We can also configure how the action should look like. So we have fully configuration of the user interface. You can even changing of icons. You can even upload your custom icons. Tooltips. So not only forms but also dropdowns can be configured. Everything to create an easy and great user interface. And if talking about user interface, let's talk about let's talk about items, because usually in SharePoint you can see item or do not see item, but we go further. You can show and hide fields of an item. So for example, the value of the invoice will be shown to everyone after it will be accepted. It will be in the accepted state, and before only director will see the value in invoice. So it's very fantastic functionality that extends normal SharePoint functionalities. And lastly, one of the greatest functionalities I would like to tell you about today. It will be not every functionalities of the our tool, but mainly this is an import and export. So there usually is a big problem how to move a workflow between development, staging, and production. So imagine that you created this list with the same name on the staging or in the development and the production. You created the same website name. You created several elements on the website, but they have different IDs, different GUIDs, and you try to move a workflow. It's no problem, because a workflow will save some additional data when exporting, and basing on that data we'll try to check if on the new when you are importing that the GUIDs are matching. Great, so the GUIDs will be matched and everything will work fine. But if not, it will check maybe there are some same names or same URLs or similar URLs of for example lists, and suggest you that one list that you had on development is the list you have on the production. And usually in 99% of situations everything will match automatically, and the workflow will just move in half a minute from one environment to other. Okay, so let's go to the next subject right now. But before, I will tell you one question: is if that is not enough for you, it's no problem, because everywhere where there is some repeated functionality, I was saying in our designer, there is answer Visual Studio. We have a lot of places when you can put inside our product your custom coding and extensions, like forms. You can create your custom launch action form or launch workflow forms. If the standard forms are not enough for you, you can create some custom controls. If the whole form is okay, but you need some special control on the form, you can create your custom functions if you need some more custom activities. So great functionality that you can create by yourself. You can also remote control our workflows, start, stop them, get some information about them, manage them. And there's administration management. Imagine that, for example, you have a lot of sites with the same workflow and you need to update every one of them. You can, of course, import, export everyone, but you can do it by just simply PowerShell script that will update a lot of sites in one click. Okay, so let's go, like I said, to the next subject. Workflows application workflow. What does it mean? Let's imagine that you have financial department. In the financial department, you have invoices workflow, and you would like to support every invoice in your company by that workflow. But you have, for example, some policy about permissions, etc., and you would like not to show everyone that you have some workflow and how it looks like, where is that, no one should have permissions, but you would like to start the workflows to go out and invoice from other workflows from the whole company. You would like to automate these processes. So what can you do? In our Datapolis Process System, you can pack a workflow as application. You can share it as application. So your workflow will be shown to, for example, whole farm as a simple packet functionality which has an input and output, and that's all. What can you do with that? You can put it in other workflows. So other designer of workflows just I need an invoice. So what to do? Just drag and drop a box with the invoice, and that will provide and start an invoice process on some list where that is, and after finish we will give you information about that to your workflow. And you don't need to know where that is, who configured that, who have permission or not. You just need to put a box, drop down box in your workflow. That's all. How does that help you? It can put a common processes in the single repository, so you can create a repository of important processes in your farm, in your SharePoint, in your organization, like invoice process or like selling process, whatever. You can have a parallel processes. So you can, for example, launch several times the same process, the same application to get some data from a lot of users, or split the processes into two different processes for some time using two different applications. And of course, sometimes we have very, very big complex solutions, and that can be split in the small application that can be easily managed, change, update without not need to update the whole main process. So some parts can be easily updated only by that parts. Some great thing. Okay, so how does it work? It's very simple. When you go to Designer, just few clicks. You click on the icon on the toolbox that allows you to share application. Just provide a name, and that's all. It's shared. Then you just need to deploy workflow, and you have your application. And how to use that? Just on the other icon, in other workflow, any other workflow, click on an icon. Choose applications from available. On the left, on that icon, we see solutions, because we pack in applications our containers named solutions. And here you just choose application what you need, and they are available in your process right now. So 2 clicks, and the third click is just drop down, and that's all. Now you have an application in your workflow. How it works? When a workflow enters the states, it starts an applications that are in that state, and after the application are finished, you can configure how workflow should manage that. So you can choose an activities which will be launched after application will be finished, and you can choose a conditions that, for example, we said that after that application is finished invoice, I would like to move to other states. Okay, so let me show you a little demonstration of that. I have my workflow invoices, and right now I will share that workflow as an application. So just click here, share this workflow as an application, share as invoices. I can choose input and output parameters, but for this simple presentation I will do not. Okay, invoices, and deploy. Okay, it's deploying, and let's go here. And here I have very simple workflow, and what would like to do? In that very simple workflow, orders workflow, I would like my workflow to go to invoices state, then I would like to support invoice in that state. And when it will be finished, I would like this workflow to move further. Of course, there will be some more logic in the normal solutions, but it's just a presentation of the functionality, what can be done, so I will not provide some special logic for here, just move a workflow to other state. Okay, let's wait a second for that workflow to be deployed. It sometimes can take some time. And after that, I will choose an available applications in that workflow, And after choosing that application, I will just drag and drop the application my state. Okay, a few seconds more we need. That the very great functionality allows you to have not only workflows in your environment, but have the whole process system in your company, because usually the workflows are not alone functionalities. They work between themselves. There are some interactions between departments in the organization. Okay, it was deployed. So let's load available applications. And after it will be loaded, I will choose the application that I would like to use in my system. Okay, invoices. I would like to choose invoices. So right now I see it here and just drag and drop. And I see there was this new icon. I can go here, applications, and define, of course, for instance, which conditions, input parameters, but I don't need right now. It's activities which can be started after it came back from that application, and conditions. So I can define that if conditions and permissions will be met, I will go to some new state. I can define conditions. I will not define that conditions right now because I would like my my workflow to automatically move to other state. So I will just deploy that. So what I have done right now in that workflow, simply choose what application I would like to use in that workflow and drag and drop it. I do not know anything about the invoices application. Where is that? Who created that? Who is involved in that process? I just need my invoices. That's all. Okay, so let's add an item. Orders. On the orders, I will add an item. But wait a second, it will be loaded. Let me check. Yes, still deploying. Come on, wake up. I think my SharePoint just started to defragmenting the drive. Okay, let me open that in new window. Give him a second. Okay, I think it should just load. Okay, great. So I will add a new item right here. So it's in orders. So where I used my application. Just add a new item. And I will name it order 1. Okay. And let me check if that workflow was deployed. Yeah, great, it was deployed. So I am adding order 1. And waiting till that workflow will be started. Okay, it's starting. Let's refresh that. Yeah, after the first deployment, SharePoint compiles the workflow, so it sometimes can go a little more time than normal work. Okay, so let's go to history of that workflow. And what can we see right now in the history? In the history, we see that that workflow went to invoice state, and here we have some applications. Yeah, invoices application, and it is starting right now. So let's refresh that page and wait it will be started. How it's starting? It is starting by the job timer. So it is starting where the job timer are configured, so it does not influence the front end. Okay, it is in progress, so I will go to invoices. And I see there's a new item with the verification. This new item and new workflow started. Great, so someone just put me an invoice to work on that. So I will work on that invoice. Verified. Confirm. Yeah, and then just accept. I will just finish that workflow very simply. Okay. Accept. Just accept, nothing more. yeah, it was finished. So right now our timers are picking up the tasks, and probably in the few seconds our workflow in order list will be moved to the next state. Okay, it is moved. So what just happened? Let's go to the history. We created an item. It started the invoice application. There was started invoice application, so the workflow. Then someone there on some other list, somewhere else place, went through the workflow of the invoices, support that invoice, finished that workflow, and then it informed back the parent workflow, the place where the application was started, that it was finished. So it moved to other state as we configured that. What is a very important thing, that we support that not only the applications can be workflows and can be started in workflows. We support full interfaces for that. You can create your custom applications and pack them in solutions and deploy on the SharePoint. So you can create a fully great solution with workflows, with other things, deploy it simply in the SharePoint, and have possibility to use them in other workflows, or maybe not in workflows. We also provide an API in the object model in the JavaScript, that some REST web services that can be used in JavaScript on the other third-party environments that can start that application. So the interface is fully configurable, fully usable, so you can create your custom application and use them outside the workflows. Okay, let me go back to my presentation. And the last point of my presentation is central administration. I will just mention right now about the things we have in the central administration, so you will know what can be found here. Firstly, very great tool, performance monitoring. You can monitor performance in the workflow. So, for example, if you find some place that it's not working too fast, you can check. You can enter the performance monitor, start to monitor, and check, okay, that workflow is running too slow. What is running there? Okay, there is some activities that are working too slow. Okay, there's in that activity some lookup. And you're looking, okay, that is working too slow because I have giant list which shouldn't be so giant. So then you can easily, in a few seconds, find the reason of some performance issues on your SharePoint related to workflows, or even not to workflows. Application management. So you can see all the applications that you have, our Datapolis application that you have in your system, or every Datapolis solutions that you have in your system, and manage them. Security management. You can allow people to use application or to create workflows. Workflow management. You can see chosen sites, site collections, what workflows are there. You can see versions of them, deployments, etc. User substitutions in the central administrations or even in the site collection administration. You can configure substitutions of users. So how does it work? You can configure that one person substitute other persons, and where exactly, for example, is some specific workflows or whole farm or some site collections, whatever, and for what time. And then the substituted person, the person who substituted the first person, can launch an actions which he usually cannot launch because he do not see these actions, and can launch that actions in behalf as the other person. So in the history we will see that the user John has launched an action in behalf of user Michael. And timer job control is very great for performance controlling. You have several timer jobs like task timer job, which picks up some things like starting application, finishing applications, self-timer starting, etc. Or some cleaner timer job because some clients would like to remove old history entries from the database because they do not need them more, whatever, fully configurable. And you can configure how many timers you need and on which servers. So you can, for example, define one server to be a timer job server and move every timer job there to move a performance outside overload outside front ends to make them work fast. And of course, much more that can be found and configured and managed in our central administration. Okay, so that will be all of the things I would like to tell you right now today about the brief of our great tool. Of course, there are a lot of more, and if you are interested, we can do some presentations for you, more presentation about that with some more details or some examples of the workflows you have in your organizations. And right now is a good time for questions. So if you have some questions, you can raise up your hand or just write them. I will just wait for them right now for questions. So thank you very much.